I started in radio as an intern with Doug Banks. I lived on 79th, I lived on 80th and Blackstone. And I went to college, Columbia College. I was at Northern Illinois University, Kishwaukee, the junior college. Man, I found my love for radio at 9. I used to listen to Herb, Jay Johnson, Bernadine C. Washington, Cecil Hale. These are all the jocks at VON. I used to listen to them. LaDonna Tittle, the Honeybee, Mary D. I used to listen to radio. I was 7 and 8 years old with the radio in my ear. After my mother, we would go to bed and we would still want to listen to the radio because the radio, Chicago radio would go off. So we would be listening to LS and all the other stations. So I was a student of radio. I loved it inside and out. I had my own radio station, WBBK, in the basement. My sister was my traffic person, did the helicopter, Nancy, and I just was in love with radio at 9. At 9. So by the time high school and college came, you know, I just wasn't getting the job to be in radio. So I kind of put it to the back burner. I said, well, I need a job. I got to work. So I was working at this restaurant in Oak Park called Philander's. And my uncle, June Moon, came to the restaurant that day and said, do you still want to do your internship? He said, I got an internship for you. I said, with who? He said, you start Monday with Doug Banks. Mind you, Doug Banks was at BMX at the time. Mind you, I live all the way on 79th, 80th and Blackstone, 8018. So I'm like, how am I gonna get there? I didn't have a vehicle. Everything was public transportation. I was PT, baby. So I would take the 79th, and I had to be on the air with Doug at 5 a.m. So that means I had to leave my house at 4, somewhere around in there, right? 79th Street bus to the Dan Ryan, take the Dan Ryan all the way to the end of the line, Oak Park. Well, I think Oak Park was a stop before the end of the line. I had to do this every day. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, it didn't matter. I had to be there because I was his intern. My job was to answer the phones. I would get the winners when he would give away a prize. Then I would mail it. Daisy Davis was the she was the assistant PD. Lee Michaels, Kearney Anderson, all these are my bosses. And then I worked with Doug. Bama, Tim Smith was the Bama man. He was Doug's engineer. So they used to put me in a room. I didn't talk. He said, don't worry about talking. Don't worry about being on the radio. Go in that room and you learn how to run this board. I can run a board in my sleep because he gave me that training. He told me, do this. Don't worry about talking. I didn't want to talk no way. I had people like Marco Spoon, Steve Harris, Doug, all these heavyweights. In my little baby voice, no. So, and I teach my interns and the people who work with me now, you got to start from the bottom. You're not just going to come in here and just jump on the microphone. Oh, no, I didn't do it, and I'm not going to allow you to do it either. You got to learn some stuff first. First of all, you got to learn about being on time. I do the morning show now on the FM Omni channel. Download the app, the FM Omni channel, with your heartbeat for soul. Download the app. So Tom Joyner was our morning show when we first started the station. Tracy Bell. Tom retired 3 years ago. So I do the morning show now. So I get here like 4:15, 4:20. I used to come in the house at that time because we was partying. I was doing the night show. I was doing weekends. But now it's the morning show. which all shows you have responsibilities, but the morning show sets the tone for the day. So I can't come in here dragging, half sleep, so I go to bed at a decent time, get my rest. So I'm teaching my interns, you can't phone it in, yo. You can't phone it in. You gotta be here on time. Time is the key. Not just with radio, but just life, period. Because watch this, you can't get time back. You can't get it back. So, yeah, I've been in love with radio since the age of 7, 8, 9 years old. And I love it today as much as I loved it back then. Because it feels like I got a brand new start. Morning Drive is the highest part of radio as far as personality-wise. Now, if you want to be the PD, be the owner, that's another story. I don't want to be none of that. I love being a personality, being a voice where I can encourage somebody, I can inspire you with a song or a saying. I love what I do, and I think I even love it more because I'm older, and growing up in this, you know, I used to just love to show up. Now, you know, if I help one person, man, I did my job. So it's been 41 years in Chicago radio. They tried to write me off, but I didn't write back. I didn't write back, G.
You got